Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing the S.H.Figuarts Gohan and Krillin in battle clothes, so their appearance towards the end of the Namek saga. My recording style will seem a little bit different today just because I was in the middle of moving around a lot of things in my office, so I'm just trying to find a new setup that works, as well as works in the meantime while I get everything, sort of working. So this is another double review. We're going to be looking at both Gohan and Krillin. I had heard mixed things about these figures, that they weren't the best, but they are pretty iconic looks for the characters, and we will be getting into all the nitty-gritty. So first up, taken out of the box, here's what Krillin comes with, and it's a pretty good loadout. The same is similar for Gohan, but Krillin comes with the figure itself. We get 5 faces, we get a Dragon Ball. This is the activated Dragon Balls. We get replacement armor pieces for him being battle damaged when Frieza is pierced through his body. We get a bunch of different hands. We get an alternate chest piece for better articulation, and just in general, pretty damn good loadout. It's pretty much everything you need to recreate iconic moments with this specific look of Krillin. Unfortunately, these parts are not compatible with any of the other Krillin releases, even though they almost look like they could be, but they aren't. It's just a little bit of a difference in scaling. Now for Gohan, he has a similar loadout as well in terms of like the amount of stuff we get. So we get the figure itself, we get 5 faces, we get an alternate windswept hair effect, we get a bunch of different hands, alternate chest piece for added articulation, as well as the 3-star activated Namekian Dragon Ball. Now between the Gohan and Krillin, you also needed the 4th form Frieza, as well as the 2nd and 3rd forms, and Zarbon and Dodoria for all of the activated Namekian Dragon Balls. Pretty sure that's all of them, and then there was another set of characters that had the regular Dragon Balls. I went through that with a Ginyu Force review. Hopefully that is up by the time this review goes up. And then there's also the Purunga that came with a full set of Namekian Dragon Balls that light up, and then all of the original Dragon Ball figures that all came with smaller Dragon Balls as well, and there's also a color variant of those, but they never finished the set of those, and it's a whole thing. But taken out of the box and put under display here are Krillin and Gohan, and you can see they look pretty good in static poses. I will say their weight distribution is really awkward. It is hard to get them to stand up straight. Sort of has a lot to do with like the small feet, and just weight doesn't really work too well with that. They're not like firmly grounded, so it is a bit awkward playing with them. My Gohan also has a paint error on the shoulder, and there's some slight mispaints here or there, but in general they look pretty good. Now for posability, it's a little bit lacking. It's fine, but it's not the best. So Gohan's got a ball joint in the head and neck, allows for a decent amount of movement, not really too limited. The shoulder pads hinge up. The arms can butterfly in. It looks a little bit awkward, but if you're just using it for posability, as long as you don't see the joint, it's fine. The arms can rotate all the way around, somewhat limited by the shoulder piece, but it's okay. There's an up arm swivel, bend at the elbow, and ball hinge at the wrist. The sort of standard stuff you know Figuarts come with, just at a smaller scale. There is a ball joint in the chest, which allows for a bit of crunching. Nothing too crazy. There's a swivel at the waist as well. You can do the splits that far. You can kick forward and back that far. There's an upper thigh swivel, as well as a pretty terrible bend at the knees. It looks like it can go further, but it just wouldn't let me. So it's pretty awful actually. And there's a pivot at the ankle, as well as a hinge at the toes. It's fair articulation, but given the limitations and the actual awkwardness of getting him to actually stand because of the awkward weight distribution, not a huge fan. Now moving on to Krillin. So similar story here, just a little bit bigger. So he's got a ball joint in the head and neck, allows for a decent amount of motion, a little bit more limited than Gohan in some regards. Shoulder pads move up, arm can butterfly in. Again, looks awkward if you're just looking straight at the joint. Arm can rotate all the way around, upper arm swivel, bend at the elbow, ball hinge at the wrist, the usual suspects. There's a ball joint in the chest, which allows for a bit of crunching, not a huge range of motion, but it's okay enough. He's got some skirt armor and they can just hinge out as well. You can kick forward and back that far. You can do the splits. There's an upper thigh swivel, bend at the knees. That does seem to be the full range as well. It doesn't seem as visually restricted as Gohan's, but it is still restricted, and his leg popped off for me, so that kind of sucked. And he's also got a pivot at the ankle and bend at the toes. Again, probably slightly better than Gohan, but still not that great. So they're okay. I'm not a big fan of like actually posing them in any sort of action pose. It's just not really worth it. Now for faces, we get a pretty good spread of expressions. So for Gohan, we get a serious face out of the box. We get a sort of more neutral look where his eyes aren't as serious, and this is for a very specific look. We get a mouth open happy face, which looks quite nice. We get a teeth clenched angry face. And we get a mouth open shouting face. Now some of these faces work better with the windswept hair than others, in particular the mouth open shouting face. Now for Krillin, we get 5 heads. So we get a serious face out of the box. We get that same sort of neutralish face where his eyes are much kinder. We get a teeth clenched angry face and it's asymmetrical, looks quite nice. We get a shouting face as if he's using something like solar flare. And then we get a really wide-mouthed shouting face to replicate him getting blown up by Frieza. It's a little bit awkward having 2 shouting faces. Yes, this specific Frieza one is really, really important to include with this look of Krillin, but you could kind of use it for action-y poses as well if you wanted to, really. Like, I don't think you necessarily needed to have 2 very, very, very similar sculpts. They are different, but like, they are alike enough that I don't think it's super necessary to have both. But with the limited articulation, but with the great amount of accessories, you can get the figures into some pretty alright poses. You can replicate just about anything that they show on the promo images, and any of the really, really iconic moments, like, you know, Krillin blowing up. And yeah, they're fine figures. By no means are they my favourite at all, and they're not my favourites of Gohan or Krillin. But they're okay enough, and they get the job done. I wouldn't really rate them all that much, but if you are an avid collector and you really want the activated Namekian Dragon Balls, you kind of need these. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time. Oh hi, I didn't see you there. As you can see, I'm hard at work making new videos for the channel. Now, while I'm happy with where the channel is right now, I could use your help. By liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel, it helps out the YouTube algorithm and recommends my channel to more people. So if you like any of my videos, please let me know, it really helps out. And if you liked this one, please let me know too. It means a lot to me, and I really, really appreciate all of you guys.